welcome everyone. Welcome everyone online. So, let's begin. So we can find a comfortable seat or a comfortable standing posture. We can take our thumbs and tuck them into our fingers and allow our hands to just rest on our thighs. And we'll take a few moments to begin, as we always begin, by bringing our awareness to the Jing, the Qi, and the Shen, the three treasures, which can be translated as the body, the breath, and the mind. And the invitation is to begin with the body, with your physical sensations, the sensation of your alignment within gravity, the sensation of your seat or your feet on the ground or on your whatever you're sitting on. Just taking a moment to tune in to how your body feels, the substance of your body, the weight of your bones. Just allowing the body to help us to ground into the present. And as you settle into your body, it may happen naturally that you become more aware of your breath. And so we can expand our awareness to include not only the body, but also the breath and the movement of the breath into and through the body. And you don't have to change how you're breathing at all. But as you notice your breath, it may change. It may get slower or deeper, and that's fine. If you'd like to bring a deeper breath into the body, you can. And just allowing the breath to reveal more of the body to you. Areas of tightness, areas of openness. Just noticing how the breath feels as it moves through the body, which may also help you to notice how the body feels. And as you notice your breath and your body, you may also notice other things. And so just noticing that. Noticing what you're noticing. Noticing the focus of your mind, whether it's on the body and the breath or something else. And again, the invitation is to direct the focus of the mind to your body, the alignment of your body, to your breath and the movement of your breath. And attuning to the body and the breath and the focus of the mind, this is Qigong practice. This is the essence of the practice. Other things that we do may make maintaining this awareness or this attunement a little more challenging. And that's also part of the practice. So when you're ready, you can bring your hands together and we'll massage our hands, generate some heat in our palms. Heat is energy. Energy is a common translation of Qi. So we're building Qi in our hands as we prepare for our self-massage. So let's take a nice deep breath in together. As you exhale, shake it out. Relax. Notice your body, your breath, the focus of your mind. We can rub the palms together again, and this time, if you'd like, you can massage one hand with the other, switching sides, and just taking a moment to just feel what your hands feel like. Like, what does the base of your thumb feel like, or the back of your hand feel like? In between the long bones of the hand, out the fingers even. Are your hands warm or cold, dry, soft, hard? There's no way that they're supposed to be. There's just the way that they are, and we're taking the time to just notice that, to feel that. And maybe even noticing what happens when we notice that. What arises? What insights show up? What sensations emerge? And when you're ready, another deep breath in and out. Freshening up the Qi in the hands. And then we can bring our hands to our faces and just gently massage the face. And we can go up and out, moving at your own pace. You can go slow, you can go fast, you can use a lot of pressure, you can use very light pressure. Try different things. And then from here, you can just bring your fingertips over your scalp. And you can go front to back, you can go back and forth, you can stay in one particular area. But I would recommend that you do explore the whole surface area of your scalp. You may find some areas that feel tender or areas that feel really responsive to stimulation. So just notice that. And again, notice what happens as you notice that. And whenever you're ready, you can slide your hands down the back of the neck, drawing the hands around the base of the neck. And then a nice deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together. Breathing deeply. Feeling the breath move through the whole body. And then going right to our self-shoulder massage, we'll begin with the left arm and just gently swing it up to the right shoulder. It can fall away and we'll alternate side to side. Just letting gravity do most of the work. And it can be helpful if you bring just a little intention or attention to the hand that's swinging up to the shoulder. It's like somehow that just helps that hand to land in a good way, in a good spot. No need to hurry. Take your time. Find a pace that works for you. And do take the time to feel what this feels like. When your hand lands on your shoulder, if it feels like it's too much, see if you can adjust how it lands so that it feels good if it doesn't feel good. And if it does feel good, feel what good feels like. Maybe even make note to yourself that you can feel good. You can even do something for yourself that feels good whenever you'd like to. Maybe noticing how the sensation from the shoulder travels, whether it travels down through your body or laterally across your shoulder girdle, or just stays right under your hand. Again, any one of those and other things may be what's happening. And all of that is fine. It's not supposed to be any kind of way. Let's do one more on each side. And then a deep breath in. Shake it out. Rub the palms together. Breathe deeply with every cell of your body. And let's open our chests so we can bring our right fingertips together to make a little beak, and then find the bottom of your left collarbone and follow the collarbone out into a nice hollow space near your shoulder joint. And then we'll take the left fingertips into a beak, find the bottom of the right rib cage, and just follow that down. And there's a little notch that you can drop into. And everyone has it, regardless of body type. And then we'll just gently tap these two spots. And as you're tapping them, feel free to make small circles or whatever shape is needed to just explore the area of both of these spots. Notice what you feel, and you may find in one or in both of these spots, you might find a spot that feels distinct, that stands out. And if you do, you can home in on that spot, and if you don't, you can just keep tapping. The lower spot, I find it is often like halfway on the ribs and halfway on my abdomen. And just feeling these two spots as you're tapping them and continuing to breathe. And as you breathe, see if you can fill the space between these 2 points. And not only in the front of the rib cage, but see if you can fill the sides and the back of the rib cage in between these 2 points, from the bottom of the ribs up to the top of the ribs. Just waking up the whole breath field. Waking up the diaphragm, the solar plexus, the heart center, the heart, the lungs. And just feel what you feel as you breathe through the chest, as you stimulate movement and circulation through the chest, where so many things tend to accumulate, both physical and emotional. And just allowing the sensation of the breath and stimulation of these points to facilitate movement. And whenever you're ready, you can then just transition to open palms, gently massaging these 2 points, continuing to breathe and to feel. And then let's change sides. So left fingertips under the right collarbone, sliding out into the hollow space. Right fingertips to the bottom of the left rib cage, following it down until you drop into a little notch. And then just gently tapping each of these points, exploring the area of these points, exploring sensation. Breathing into the sensation of the points, breathing into the space in between the 2 points. So we've talked before about how the lower point is the last point on the liver meridian, and the upper point is the first point on the lung meridian, and how this gap between these two meridians is the biggest gap between any two meridians on our bodies. And so it can help to bridge the gap, to facilitate the movement from the liver to the lungs. Liver time is 1 to 3 a.m., which most of us are familiar with because we often wake sometime around there, like the 3 a.m. hour, 2 to 3. And then lung time is 3 to 5 a.m. That flow out of the liver meridian, that's considered to be the end of the previous day. 1 to 3 a.m. At 3 a.m., the previous day ends, and then the chi moves into the lung meridian. We take our first breath of that new day. And so sometimes we wake up as that previous day, as we let go of it, as it kind of, in a sense, dies, and then we're reborn. So we want to facilitate that movement from birth to death to rebirth to re-death. And in between birth and death, we breathe, and the heart beats, and there's movement. And who knows, even before death, or before birth and after death, there's movement. And whenever you're ready, you can then transition to open palms, massaging these 2 points, continuing to breathe, to feel. And then we'll take a nice deep breath in together. Shake it out. Rub the palms together. Feeling the sensation of your hands as you massage the palms together. And then we can bring our hands to our lower ribs, massaging our lower ribs, and onto the belly, onto the abdomen. And if you'd like, you can bring one hand over the chest and another hand over the abdomen, just acknowledging the organs inside your torso, acknowledging your heart and lungs, and your spleen, stomach, and pancreas, and your liver, and your gallbladder, and your large and small intestines, and your urinary bladder, and your reproductive organs. And even if you've had an organ removed, there is still the energetic signature of that organ. So just acknowledging these organs that are us, that do the job of living. And as you're ready, your hands can come around your waist to the area of the kidneys and the adrenal glands, the lumbar spine and the lower ribs, and the hip bones and the sacrum. And then as you're ready, we can draw the hands out, shake them out. Rubbing the palms together, breathing. Moving right along to our arms, let's tap our fingertips and then run up the outside and down the inside of the arm, following the flow of the meridians. Moving at whatever pace feels appropriate to you. Feel free to try different speeds of movement. And seeing if you can feel or imagine the exchange that's going on, receiving the outside into us, transmitting the inside back out, allowing things to come and go. And And let's go up one more time, and then down, tapping the fingertips, changing sides. We'll tap the other side and up the outside, down the inside. Remember to breathe. Remember to attune to your body and the alignment of your body. Feel what's happening here. Pay attention. Notice. And we can come up one more time, and then down. Deep breath in. Shake it out. Rub the palms together and breathe. We're almost there. So if you'd like to bring your feet out in front of you, and we can massage our feet. And you can use your thumbs to massage the bottoms of your feet. You can use your fingers to work in between the long bones on the top of your feet. And just like we did with our hands, just noticing what our feet feel like. If there are any spots that might feel particularly tender or just interested in some attention. And as you're ready, in your own way, you can follow the funnel down on the bottom of the foot, finding the deepest hollow on the bottom of the foot, and just apply some pressure there. And then from here, nice and easy, we'll bring our hands up the inside of the legs and around the hips, down the outside. Again, going with the flow of the meridians on our bodies, in our bodies. And one more time, we can come up and around the hips and down and out the feet. Nice deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together one last time for now. We can tuck our thumbs back into our fingers, let the hands rest on the thighs, and again, just attune to your body and the alignment of your body. Feel yourself aligned between the earth and the boundless sky. And breathe through the body. Breathing the sky down through your body into the earth, breathing the earth up through your body out into the sky. Let that be the focus of your mind for just a couple moments. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right. Okay. Good. So, any questions about anything? Okay. Great. So, last week we talked a little bit about the year of the fire horse, Chinese New Year that just began, and so we'll kind of touch back into that also briefly. But also just mentioning that, as we do, we keep track of the 24 seasonal nodes, and so we're in the second phase of spring currently. which began actually last week. Like the 18th through the 20th is the beginning of this second phase. The name of this second phase of spring is called rainwater. And so the first phase is called the start of spring, and we've talked about that, how that's, it's still early February when spring begins, and so it's like the blank canvas. It's not everything in full bloom like during the spring equinox. And so rainwater kind of continues on with this idea of kind of the blank empty canvas or the snow-covered field. Because when we're thinking about this idea of water and this idea of rain and hydration, it's very much about kind of going inward. Because in the beginning of spring, even though things are rising, we're still internal, we're still inward, we're still, yin emerging up into the yang, but we're not fully there yet. And so this idea of rainwater is kind of like nourishing our own internal sense of what is and what we would like it to be, what's going to come forward. One of my teachers likes to say that, external hydration, that's like drinking water and eating moist foods and things like this. Internal hydration is meditation. It's going inwards, it's being still, it's being calm, it's allowing things to settle the way that water will just, when it's left alone, it will find this calm, still, reflective kind of quality. And so this idea of early spring being rainwater, this idea of nourishment, of we're not yet out in the fields planting the seeds, but we're starting to just drop in and kind of say, like, what seeds do I have available to me? What are the seeds I would like to plant? In what orientation would I like to plant them? What would I like to see grow? What would I like to cultivate? This is the theme of rainwater. So there's that. And then talking a little bit about the themes of the year of the fire horse, where we talked last week. The horse is a fire animal, and we also have the universal quality of fire. So it's fire. It's very active. It's very dynamic. The fire relates to, or the horse relates to the heart, which is very much about authenticity, about a kind of joyous expression of who we are, allowing that to really come forward. And so again, this year may be a time of a lot of movement and transition that can happen very quickly. Horses are known as the animals that get you further than you can get by yourself walking. I actually heard recently someone was talking about horses and how when horses are running at full speed, it looks almost like they're flying, And in Chinese cosmology, horses are associated with the wind, like they're moving like the wind. And so again, there's this kind of changeability, this dynamism that's going on. And so having a clarity within ourselves of what it is we would like to bring forth, this idea of rainwater, as we're riding a horse that goes as fast as the wind, is important. Because if not, and it's kind of like, there's a horse, I'm just going to jump on it, and then the horse takes off, and next thing you know, you are, 100 miles away from where you thought you were going to be. And so, it's important to be centered, to be calm. And so, using our handy-dandy map of the 5 elements that we were talking about last year. So again, fire, that's the year, that's also the horse. So we're up here. Fire also corresponds, the element of fire corresponds to the summer solstice. And so a fire year is basically like saying all year is the summer solstice. It's that type of energy all year long. And so again, we talked about how fire has this tendency to just keep going and keep rising and just burning itself and everything around it away. And so that might not be ideal. And so what we want to do is make sure that we have a strong and stable earth, this kind of centered groundedness that basically has enough gravity to pull the fire where it's supposed to go, to keep things moving along the cycle. We also talked about how wood feeds fire. Wood relates to the liver, and we talked about how most people know that the liver is associated with anger or assertiveness. And so again, what kind of wood is feeding your fire? Because, there are a lot of people who are angry for a lot of different reasons nowadays. And so if we're just so focused on anger and righteous indignation and being mad and raging and all of these things, that's what is feeding the fire. What kind of flames will that create? Like, there's a difference between a raging wildfire and a candle flame, you know? And so what kind of fire are you feeding with this? Because wood isn't only anger, wood is also creativity. It's vision, it's imagination, it's imagining what could be, you know? All of these things are what feed the fire. And then again, having a stable, grounded, centered earth is important to help pull the fire down. We talked about metal. Fire controls metal. Fire can melt metal. And so one of the things that metal relates to is the lungs. And so breath work and breath awareness is a great thing to focus on this year. We want to, and that breath can also really help us to get grounded and stable. And so good thing to do is to focus on the breath. If you notice yourself getting out of breath, you know, if you have a tendency towards lung problems to begin with, really working with breath and breath work, this is a great year to do that. We also talked about how metal has to do with ethics and morals. And so again, when we're just out following our bliss and our joy and being all fiery and excited and things like this, we want to make sure that we're still honoring boundaries, you know, that we're still following some kind of ethics, that we know what's appropriate. Because the virtue of fire is called propriety. And propriety is basically like knowing the right thing to do at the right time. And that's where this metal-fire dynamic can be tricky. Because it's not so much like, well, you should do this and you shouldn't do that. It's being so in alignment that what you're doing is what you should be doing. You know, there's like a great saying from Zen Master Dogen, where he says, what precept, what ethic is not being followed when you're in meditation? Like, you know, and how can you then extend that meditative state to every aspect of your life? So then it's like, it's not something that you have to keep track of. It's just a way of being that is in alignment with what's right and what feels good. You know, because again, there's the precept of like, yeah, thou shalt not kill. But what if what you're killing is like a malaria-spreading mosquito? You know, and maybe you're saving lives in that way. Like, what's right in the moment? And again, we can get so caught up in it that then we are holding our breath because we're trying to be so specific about certain things. But when we're really in alignment with it, it can just flow. And so just starting with just breathing, because breathing is happening already, and attuning to that, you know, and focusing on the body and being grounded, that will help what's right and what's good to just be what's happening. And then we talked about water and how water controls fire. And again, this idea of water and rainwater and stillness and calmness and reflection and going internal and letting things settle. That helps to keep the fire from being too crazy. So if you're noticing that you're feeling a little fiery, a little anxious, it's hard to sleep, there's so many ideas going so many different ways that it's almost hard to move, or you're moving so fast but you're not really going anywhere, then take a step back, you know, take a couple breaths, get grounded, and then just be and be still. And use these practices of Qigong, of meditation, of yoga and breath work, and just contemplative awareness to help settle things down, to allow things to then move, so that then the wood that grows out of that awareness, that insightful awareness, is healthy wood. It's creative wood. It's something that just is happening in and of itself, not this is how it should be, and it's not happening that way, and so I'm angry, and so, you know, that's not, I would propose, not the most helpful thing anytime, but especially this year. Okay, another little spiel on the year of the fire horse, because there's a lot of questions about it, so there's that. And so again, with that, we'll continue on with what we did last week. We'll continue to work with the 6 healing sounds and spend a little bit of time. I think last time we just went through the whole form. And so today, we'll move through the form, but we'll take some time with it and really just kind of get to know it, get to feel it, make the sounds. If we get through the whole form, great. If we don't, we'll get as far as we get. So I hope that's okay. All right. Any questions about any of that? Okay. Very good. Well then, whenever you're ready, you can stand if you'd like. And also, you know, what we're doing can be done seated, even lying down, so if that's what feels more appropriate. Ooh, that looks a little crooked. New chairs here in the studio. Okay. All right, great. Making sure you can see all of me on screen. So yeah, let's just find a comfortable standing posture. Your legs can be however wide or narrow apart feels good, and we're just gonna kind of stand for a few moments just to get oriented in a new shape. And so maybe taking a moment to just rock a little forward and a little backward, like find your heels and find the balls of your feet. And even maybe shift from one leg to the other, and just to feel what things feel like. And you can roll your shoulders out if you'd like. You can bounce or wiggle, march in place if that's what's helpful. If your legs fell asleep while we were sitting. And then just take a few moments, just aligning our bodies again. The earth below, the boundless sky above and all around us, and just aligning between those 2 poles. I always like to lift my toes off the ground so that I can find my big toe mound. I can find the pinky edge of my foot, the outside edge of my foot. I can find my heel bone. So 3 points of contact. That's what I call the outside edge of the foot, the big toe mound, and the heel. So find those on your feet. You may need to bend your knees deeper than you think you need to really ground in to those hard parts of the bottom of our feet. And once you find that, then if you'd like to come out of that knee bend a little bit, you can, but don't lock your knees. And see if you can maintain contact. Think about the back of your head, and think about this back part of your skull reaching back and also up, like at a 45-degree angle, like if someone's taking your ears and kind of pulling you up and back, or maybe taking the base of your skull and just pulling it up and back so the chin slightly tucks, the back of the neck gets long. And as that happens, you might roll your shoulders up and back and just kind of let them settle down. And with that length through the back of the neck, it might feel like some of the chest and shoulder muscles are a little tight, which makes sense, especially if we're usually here where we have all this slack that our shoulders can take up, and we're taking all of that slack up and out. It might feel like there's not as much available here, and that's okay. Breathe into that space. Breathe from the bottom of your ribs all the way up to your collarbones. And if you feel that in the front, nice and available to you, see if you can bring that breath to the sides and to the back of the rib cage. All the way around, 360-degree breathing. As you're lifting up and back through the back of your skull, as you're filling the sides and the back of the rib cage, allow your weight to settle down through your heels. If that feels unstable, spread the floor apart. So you're rooting into the outer edges of your feet so you can be nice and stable and settle into your heels. Reach the back of your head away from your heels. Feel that stretch. Fill the backside of your body with your breath. Take a couple breaths like that. On the inhale, reach the back of your skull away from your heels. Fill the backside of your body with your breath. One more time like that. Just allowing the awareness of the body, the activation of the body, and the movement of the breath to bring about a Qigong state where we can feel a little expanded. There's space to settle. And I'll mirror you. Let's shift our weight towards the mirrors. Inhale the arms out and up and bring your feet a little closer together. And then exhale down the front of the body. And your hands can come into Diamond Mudra. One hand folded on top of the other, thumbs touching. And again, feeling your alignment between heaven and earth. Breathing through the body. And we'll begin our 6 sounds therapy meditation. So you can sink into your knees, and then we'll open out towards the windows. The hands can float out and up, and then just relax. Let the hands float towards each other. The knees can bend, but not in, just bending while moving away from each other. As you inhale, lift up through the elbows, lengthening through the legs, and then an exhale, just relax. So the first movement, this movement, and the first sound is for the liver organ network, the wood element. And so thinking of healthy wood, which is flexible, like our whole body, being a tree, being able to flow in the wind, like bamboo, or just any healthy tree. It's almost like a kind of buoyancy. And if it feels better to have the hands down lower, you can do that. But the idea is finding expansion on the inhalation, and as you exhale, just softening. We want to have soft, spongy livers. We don't want to have thick, dense, hard, congested livers. We want to soften that flow. One more big inhalation. And as you exhale, let your hands float in over your lower ribs, over the area of your liver, and you can just massage this area. And so all of us know, or most of us know, or have at least heard, that the liver is a big organ of detoxification, which is true. It's the beginning and the end of our metabolic cycle. It's involved in all of the different systems. Like, it's not just a digestive organ or an endocrine organ or a circulatory organ. It's like all of them. It integrates all of the functions into one. It gets overloaded. It gets full. It has to deal with all of the stuff we put into ourselves, consciously and unconsciously, the stuff that we encounter. So clearing out the liver is helpful. And it's easy. You know, one of my teachers likes to say the best thing to detoxify the liver is the liver. Just give the liver a chance. Drink water and eat good food. That's a liver cleanse. Avoid sugar and the toxins. Like, just avoid what you know you should avoid. It's not like any of us don't know when we're eating things. It's like, I shouldn't be eating this. Like, yeah, we know. Just do it. And then your liver will detox. It's not hard. You don't have to buy anything. So just some movements to just help flush the liver out. Let's bring our hands back and inhale up through our back. On the exhale, just clear your liver out. Big breath in. And we don't have to lean too far forward. Just pushing out. A little knee bend. Use your imagination. Visualize all that gunk getting expelled. Use the breath, the pumping pumping of the blood to flush the liver out. The exhalation to wring the liver out. See what you want to get gone, get gone. Emotional, physical, otherwise. 2 more. 1 more. Let the hands float back, massaging the liver, softening the liver. If you'd like to visualize the tender green color of the liver, of new growth in the springtime, you can do that. You can visualize your liver organ, which for most of us is on the right side. It tends to follow the rib cage, down and then up, kind of just below the chest or the breast tissue. This whole area is our liver. It's a big organ. So visualize it, feel it, thank it. Like, thank you, liver. I'm sorry, liver. Sorry for my teens and 20s. But thank you. And then the healing sound for the liver is shoo. And so we'll make that sound 3 times. The first time is really to break up all of the stagnation and the accumulations. The second time is to clear it away. And the third time is to just invite that healthy, optimal functioning of the liver to come forth. So, again, nice and easy. Bring your hands around your waist. And then the hands can come up through the lower back, and we'll inhale. And as the hands come forward, we say, let's inhale the arms out, and then exhale into this kind of buoyant, flexible movement, softening our livers, facilitating the smooth flow of qi and blood and lymph. 1 more. The hands can float in over the lower ribs, over the liver, massaging, nourishing, acknowledging and thanking the liver. And then again, bring the hands around. Inhale up. Nice and easy. Inhale, exhale. Like a tree. Strong roots going into the ground, strong trunk rising up, strong limbs, flexible, solid. 1 more time. Hands can float over the liver, massaging, visualizing the tender green color of the liver, new growth. The leaves in springtime, when you taste them, they're sour. There's that sour, astringent flavor that generates fluids. It's like when you think about a sour flavor, your mouth waters, saliva comes forth. Hands coming around the waist, inhaling up. Inhale out and up. And then just let the hands float down. And they can rest by your sides and adjust your stance however you need to in this moment. And tune in to that energy in your liver organs. Feel the chi in that area that we've stimulated. And from the liver, we can invite that energy up and back into the backside of our rib cage, into our lungs. Breathe into the backside of the rib cage. Not so much the front. Breathe back. That's where your lungs are, in the back of the body. From the lower ribs of the lower back all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. Fill that whole space with your breath. Visualize your lungs and the size of your lung organs. Feeling all that space in the lungs, like you're visualizing the open expanse of the sky. And I mean the sky above the clouds, like so much space. Breathing all that space into the lungs. And as you begin to inhale a little deeper, allow the breath to push your arms up a little bit. And then exhale. And allow the movement of your arms to help bring more breath in as well. Like we're taking off, like we're taking flight. And then exhale the palms back to back. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, open. Inhale, back up. Turn the palms down. Exhale, down. Palms back to back. Again, in and out. So now we're flying. In and out. Again, in. Take your time. Inhale. Exhale. Two more. In, palms back to back. Exhale, open. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. One more. In. Out. Feeling the stretch. As you inhale up, feel the stretch in the side body. Palms down, exhale. Bring your arms, wrap them around your chest. Bring your chin to your chest. Stretch the backside of your body. And then inhale back up. And then exhale. Switch which arm was on top. Wrap the arms around your body, chin to the chest. Stretch the back of the body and then inhale up. One more time. Exhale, palms back to back. Inhale. Exhale, open, and keep the arms here. And if you need to bring them down a little lower, you can, but turn the palms up. Feel the opening of the upper chest. Maybe looking up if that's available to you. If not, you can look forward. Find what's comfortable. Take a breath in. As you exhale, gently turn your head to look to the window side hand. And then inhale back to center. And as you exhale, gently turn to look towards the mirror side hand. And then inhale back to center, and you can bring your gaze forward. I'll mirror you. Let's bring the window hand, make a beak with your fingers, and find the spot underneath the collarbone that we found in the self-massage. And then the other hand comes in. And we'll make the healing sound for the lungs, which is like a zzz, a Z sound with our teeth just touching so that it vibrates, and that vibration reverberates up into your sinuses and activating the sinuses, which are part of the lungs. So we'll inhale. Breathe. So as we're making that sound, we're also pushing the breath out of our teeth. So the abdomen is engaged, the diaphragm is working. The diaphragm is the muscle of inspiration, breathing. Again, inhale. Breathe natural. Fill your whole lungs with your breath. We often don't breathe into our whole lungs. Interesting bit of trivia, when we don't breathe all the way up, filling the upper lungs actually fall over like little puppy ears, which is interesting. So we want to wake up and breathe with our whole lungs, top to bottom, bottom to top. One more time, big inhale. Breathing natural. Send the hands out and then bring the palms together and let the palms float back in front of the heart. So feeling the back side of the rib cage, feeling the back of the body, feeling the lungs full of chi, active, breathing into all of that space. And with your awareness, invite that chi inwards to the center of your chest, to your heart. And visualize your heart organ. Visualize the red color of the heart. And the hands together in front of the heart like a red lotus that hasn't yet bloomed. So just again, with your intention, with your breath, connecting with your heart, connecting with the color red, with the energy of the summer solstice, the warmth, the love, the calmness, like a steady candle flame. It's not raging, it's not too hot, it's not flaring upwards, it's just steady, stable, constant, like how we'd like our heartbeat to be. From here, we'll inhale the hands up overhead, stretch. And as you exhale, bring the base of your hands down to the top of your head, to the crown chakra. And then, if you're able, as you inhale, see if you can allow this lotus to bloom, like moving the fingers away from each other, stretching through the palms. And as you exhale, use your middle fingers, touch your crown chakra, which is called the 1,000-petaled lotus. And again, inhale, open, bloom the lotus. And then exhale, massage your crown. One more time, we're going to inhale, exhale, and then palms together, extend up overhead. Now we'll unlock the hands, cross at the wrists, let the hands float down either side of the sternum, coming down the front of the body, uncross at the hips. And then we're not going too deep, just like a little dig into the earth, bending at the knees. Hips are back, weight is on the heels, the hands float out. And then bring your fingertips in towards you. The palms are back to back. And then follow your pinkies as you reach up and overhead and stretch the heart and the heart meridian. And then again, crossing at the wrists, the hands flow down for those on Zoom. Uncross, a little dig in, and then reaching, fingertips come in, palms back to back. Follow your pinkies up into the sky, stretching the heart. And again, just relax. Inhale. Stretch. And out. and out. And just breathing natural. If this rhythm doesn't work for you, find the rhythm that does. Digging in, gathering, and opening, stretching. Let's do a couple more. See how it goes. Palms back to back, reaching up. Yeah. So the heart meridian, it begins in our armpits and it travels down the pinky edge of the arm. So palms back to back, stretching up through the pinkies. You can feel the heart meridian itself stretching. Last time, stretching up. And then bring your palms together. And again, let the hands float down the front of the body, coming to rest in front of the heart. So we'll make the healing sound for the heart, which is ka. As we make the sound, our not yet bloomed lotus will bloom, and so it's going to open up, and we bring our forearms together. And if you need to keep the hands down low to bring the forearms together, that's fine. Ideally, what we would like is the elbows to be able to lift and to stretch, because what we're not wanting to do is have this forearms bring our chests inwards like this. We spend so much time on phones and reading books and on a computer and driving, and everything is closed. And so what we want to do is we want to open the collarbones and the shoulders, create space as we're stretching the heart, stretching the backside behind the heart while simultaneously opening the chest. So let's go for it. So we'll take a nice breath in. Middle fingers can massage your heart center as you breathe. Connect with your heart. Visualize the red color of the heart. Visualize your heart organ and its shape. Feel the pumping of your heart even, maybe. As we make the sound for the heart, see if you can feel it vibrating in the center of your chest. Palms together, we'll inhale. Massaging the heart. One more time. Palms together. Inhale. Massage. Palms together in front of the heart and just feeling the chi in the center of your chest. Not right in the front, but deep in the center of your body, like in between your shoulder blades. Feel the space that's there. What the heart appreciates more than anything is space. In Chinese physiology, the heart and the mind are one thing. And so think about how it feels when you don't have a lot of mental space. Like, that's uncomfortable. Makes everything hard. We can feel anxious and irritable, scattered. So just feel into that space that we've created. Room to breathe, room to move. And then with your intention, with your awareness, you can direct this qi from the heart, and with your hands as well. Just let them move down, and they can fold over the lower belly, over the lower dantian. And then we can bring our hands around our waist to the area of our lower backs, the area of our kidneys, and you can visualize your kidneys, your kidney organs. They're deep in the body, directly below the heart. They're a deep, dark blue, indigo, black almost. Like the ocean at night. And just allow that energy to sink down from the heart into the kidneys. Like the sun setting into the ocean at night. We can bring our hands back around the waist to the lower dantian. And then again, like we were doing with the heart, we can dig down and then inhale up. Cross at the wrists. This time the hands will float down either side of the sternum, either side of the abdomen, uncrossing over the hips. And then we'll send our hands down the inner aspect of our thighs. And go as low as is comfortable. So if here is where is comfortable, stay here. What I would recommend is that your weight is in your heels, so you should be able to lift your toes. We're not sitting forward into the balls of the feet. We're sitting more into our heels. The hips are reaching up and back, as is the back of our head, up and back. So this may be where you hang out. If you want to go a little lower, you can go down the inner legs all the way to the feet, and the hips are still reaching up and back. The back of the head is still reaching up and back, and we're like a turtle. So let's be a turtle and drink some water. We're going to inhale, lift your head. As you exhale, bring your chin out and down to your chest. Inhale, roll your head up, and then exhale. Drinking water like a turtle, in and out. In and out. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Now from here, with the hips, lifting the hips up, weight is in the heels. You can press into your shins, into your thighs. Roll yourself all the way up. The hands come back to the lower dantian. Whew. And again, just reconnecting with the bones on the bottom of your feet, your heel bones, your skeleton. The kidneys are related to our bones, to our skeletal system, to the jing, to the deepest, densest structures in our body. This is our ocean, our reservoir, our marrow. You can bring our hands around to the waist, and you can put them back in the area of the kidneys and the lower back. And let's challenge ourselves, because the kidneys do that. So let's shift our weight towards the mirrors. I'll mirror you. So we'll inhale the window leg up, just as high as is comfortable. Exhale, point your toes. Inhale, point your heel. Come back in, step down, shift to the other leg. So challenging balance, inhaling up. Exhale, point in, and the heel. Coming back and down. And the foot doesn't even have to come off the ground if that's what's needed. This time we're going to come up, open out to the side. Point with the toes. In and with the heel. Coming in and down. Shifting, other side. Leg comes up, open, pointing with the toe, in and with the heel. Back in and down. Let's do that again. And again, if you need, the toe can stay on the ground, and you can send it out and bring it back. and then send out the heel, and bring it back. Other side. Point and back, heel and back. Now we'll come up to the toe, open out to the side, point, back, heel, back. And open, point, back, heel, back. One more time. Up, toes, heel. Feel the stability of your skeleton. Toes, heel, and down. Out to the side, we come up and open, toes, heel, and down. Other side, we come up and open, toes, heel. All right. Continuing on with our kidney stretch, we'll bring the hands out in front. Take a breath in. As you exhale, send the mirror hand out. As you inhale, turn your palm up. Thumb faces away. And then exhale. As this hand comes in, the other hand goes out. And then inhale, stretch. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. One more on each side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now side to side. Take your time. We'll shift towards the windows. And then, let's see, we're going to go out and inhale. And then exhale. Shift. As you inhale, extend out. Like you're grabbing hold of a rope, and then exhale. Shift your weight. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more on each side. Inhale. Stretch. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So working our girdles, working our bones, our joints, shoulder bones, hip bones, strength, the will, the adrenals, all of that. Now we'll make the healing sound for the kidneys, which is chway. And the movement, I showed this last week, I'll show it again. So we inhale and then exhale. The arms cross, we inhale up. And when we make the sound, the thumbs come in the hands and the hips hinge back. But the toes are lifted, so I'm not coming forward onto the balls of my feet. My hips are moving back, my weight is moving back. The weight's in my heel bones. It's heavy bones in the body. Back of my head is lifting, back of the body is strong, shoulder blades, everything like back, strong, active, making the sound for the kidneys, feeling the kidneys, the backside of the body working. All right, so let's do that. So we can let the hands come out. We'll inhale, exhale, cross the arms, inhale up, hips back, hands to the lower dantian, massage, breathe. Allow the energy to settle deep into your bones. Send your mind deep into your skeleton. We often think about our muscles and our tendons and our ligaments, maybe even our joints, but just feel into the bones, the densest part of you, your bones and your teeth. again, inhale. Exhale. Crossing the arms, inhale up. Tuck the thumbs, hips back. Breathe. The kidneys are associated with the will. And so this whole kidney process can test the will. It might be a little hard, it might be a little confusing, it might be a little boring, any of those things. Just notice. Notice how your mind makes an excuse. And then just toss the mind in the ocean. Big breath in. Exhale. Inhale. Breathe. Bring the hands around the waist, reconnect with the kidneys and the lower back. And just feeling all that energy on the back side of the body. The shoulder blades, the sacrum, the heels, the bones, the skull, the teeth. And draw that energy from the kidneys, bring it around the base of the rib cage into your solar plexus, in between the belly button and the base of the sternum. The area of the digestive organs. The solar plexus, the third chakra, and the digestive organs all have a golden yellow color. So visualizing that golden yellow color of this area. The center of us. The earthy center. Stability, groundedness, rootedness, gravity. It's what allows all the other organs, all the other elements to orient around. Let's inhale the arms out and up. We can step our feet a little closer together, palms together. And then exhale the hands down in front of the heart. Take a breath here as you inhale. Exhale, send the hands, fingertips up, out towards the mirrors. The hips move the other way to counterbalance. And then inhale through center, the hands flatten out. And then exhale out to the side. Just moving like this, in and out. Just going as far as is comfortable. And just going, to the side as much as is comfortable. If you need to go out to an angle, you can do that also. But this movement, we talked about it last week, it's called swimming dragon. The dragon is the animal associated with the stomach, the digestive organs. This stomach, this dragon that eats the universe, takes all of these concepts and these known ideas and just breaks them down into chaos, which in Chinese terms, chaos is actually a great thing. It's just potential, all of this possibility, as opposed to things being what they think they are. They can be anything. Like that apple can be blood and muscle and bone. So just helping to undulate, to soften, to deconstruct, to break down what's known into what's possible, what's not yet known. And then we'll bring the hands back to the center in front of the heart. We can open our feet a little bit wider. Inhale the hands up. And like shovels digging into the earth with your hands, exhale, follow down the body, send your hips back, knees bend just as much as is comfortable, and then lifting through the thumbs and the index fingers. Inhale, dig in, exhale. Hips move back, and then the knees bend. We're not folding, we're squatting. So we're inhaling, digging in, exhaling. Hips back, knees follow, not too low. Press through the heels to come up. Dig in and exhale. Strong thighs, strong lower body. Helping us to be rooted, grounded, stable. Inhale. Dig in, exhale. In. One more time. Exhale, hips back, knees bend. Keep the upper body up. And then gathering. Digging in. This time we go down. And like we're picking something up, but lifting with our legs, not our back. Press through your heels. Inhale, draw it to the solar plexus. And massage the solar plexus. And we'll make the healing sound for the digestive organs, which is whoo. And as we do, if you want to do a little bounce on your heels, you can, to move things down and settled into the earth. Visualizing our golden yellow color. So big breath in. Breathing. Again, connect with your solar plexus, with your digestive organs, with the golden yellow color of the earth element. We need a strong, healthy earth in the year of the fire horse. We don't want things rising up. We want things settled and stable, oriented to a center, to an intention that is clear. Inhale. A very good practice for this year, a precept even, is to not overeat. Overeating is one of the most harmful things for our digestive organs. You don't need to undereat, but don't overeat. One more time, big breath in. And then your hands can slide down and come to the sides of the body. So we're almost out of time, so we're just going to go straight to the end of the sixth sound for the triple warmer, which is she. And so just allowing this energy from the center, this golden yellow energy, to start to expand, to include the heart and the lungs and the liver and the kidneys, the intestines, all of the organs in our torso, and then that can expand to include our whole body. And breathing through the whole body, feeling that movement of qi and blood being carried through our channels and our collaterals, our veins and arteries and capillaries and lymphatic vessels, and extending out into the space around you, into the universe around you, feeling that exchange of qi with the universe. And we can inhale our arms out and up overhead, and we'll make a big circle up above for the heavens, for the upper Dantian, and then a circle in the middle for the biofield, for all of life, for our middle Dantian, and then a circle down low for the earth, for the lower Dantian. Hands can come to rest over the lower Dantian. We'll make the healing sound for the triple warmer, which is Shi. Big breath in. Shi. You can let your hands come around your waist and then just relax by your sides and just stand and drift for a few moments. Just noticing whatever you feel in your body, if there's any area or organ or anything that just feels a little active, a little alive. If there's a spot that feels less alive, see if you can, with your intention, with your breath, guide some of that energy where there's a lot to the place where it can use some more. If it all feels balanced, just exchange qi with the universe. Breathe into every cell of the body. And as you exhale, allow that energy to just flush through every cell. It's like pouring clean water into a cup of dirty water until eventually it's just a cup of overflowing clean water. And then we can bring our hands together and gently rub our palms together. You can relax your stance. And we'll gently massage our faces a couple times. And then back and forth over the top of the head a couple times. Down the back of the neck and around, palms together. Coming over the sternum to the lower ribs, massaging the lower ribs and the belly. And around the waist to the lower back, drawing the hands out. Shake them out. Let's pat up one arm and down, up the other arm and down, and then around the waist and down the back of the legs, up the front and around and down. Up one more time. Right. Good. So that was just the second time doing the 6 sounds therapy. So, usually as we're working on a form, less talking as we kind of move through it because we're a little more familiar with the movements. And so lots of talking today, but less talking in the future. And we'll probably work on this form another week or two, I would think, before we transition into something else. This year we'll probably do some forms that are more geared towards the heart and the lungs and the earth element and the water and some wood. We'll do all of them, But yeah, just to know that. All right. So thank you so much for being here and for practicing. If you'd like a recording of today, just let me know. Send me an email and I will send you a copy of the link once I have it uploaded. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. And you know, you can do these sounds without having to do the whole movement. Just the sound is fine. And you can do just one of the sounds if there's just one that you think of that would be helpful. You know, like, oh, I need some help for this particular organ. You can do just that sound. If you don't remember the sound, you can make up a sound and do that. You know, but I would encourage you to really check in with what's needed. Check in with that organ. Visualize the organ, its shape, its color. Connect to a quality that you associate with that you're familiar with. Call it in, evoke it, and then make the sound and feel the vibration happening in that area of your body. Like this is medicine that we're creating for ourselves. Sounds, vibrations, frequencies. This is healing. This is medicine. You know, the great quote from Nikola Tesla, like if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of vibration and frequency and energy. It's like, that's what we're doing. And so, you know, sitting next to a river and listening to the sound of the river or the sound of the birds, that's nourishing, that's medicine. And we can create a sound like that for ourselves from within ourselves. So how much more potent will that be? You know, we make our own river sound, our own bird sounds, our own healing sounds. So please, like, use this medicine because the world is sick. And it needs healthy people. It needs medicine. And we can make it for ourselves and for the universe. So, all right, I'll stop. Thank you. Thanks for being here. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you all for participating. We'll see you next time.